Good morning, everyone. This is Melody Reels at the Iowa Quilt Museum here in Winterset, Iowa. Good morning. It is Thursday morning, October 16th, 2025. I hope everybody had a good weekend last weekend. We had the Cover Bridge Festival last weekend. So we set up, let me go back. When the museum opened, the original director was named Megan Barrett. Her and her dad together built this big quilted barn, and we have used it every Cover Bridge Festival since. So this year we had it out. We usually we have a booth, a little demonstration booth on the square, but we put the barn kind of in our archway or doorway, keep it from blowing over in the wind and stuff. And so we had, I just want to thank all my volunteers, my board members who showed up and helped out. That was amazing. My staff, my two gals in the gift shop that helped out. And then I had two ladies show up from the Iowa Quilt Guild to also volunteer and help out, Daniela and Diane. And I just want to give them a little thank you as well. It was a great weekend. We had lots of people here. There was music and food, and I ate so terribly. Anyway, if you were here, I hope you stopped by. It was a great time. And anyway, so I want to get started because I logged on 2 minutes late. So Monday morning, Sylvia in my gift shop she takes a picture of one of the quilt blocks here in the museum, and then name that quilt block. A lot of you got it. It's a well-known quilt block. It's called A Square in a Square. And we're going to talk about that quilt today as well as another one over to the side. And that beeping is not going to stop unless I go to give it the code. So, excuse me. So embarrassing. Hold on. I'll be right back. Please help me. Did you stick it in? Did you stay with me? Please don't leave. I'm so sorry. We have been having internet issues, and when the internet goes off and comes back on, our alarm goes off, and that would have just kept beeping through the whole video, and that would have been really annoying. So I wanted to go take care of that. Before we go on to the quilt. So long story, I'm not going to get into it today because we're doing two quilts. I'll do it on a day that we're only doing one quilt. But Wyndham Fabrics and the Iowa Quilt Museum, Wyndham Fabrics was nice enough to pair up with us. And we have fabric coming out. So this, I thought I would just show you this real quick. This is the fabric line that's coming out. And we're so excited. You have no idea how excited we are. So it's a long story, and I don't want to get into it, but this is called Swatch Book for a reason, and that'll be another video. These are old vintage shirting fabrics from the 1900s. And they're over 100 years old, these prints, and they recreated them, and we're calling it they're calling it the Swatch Book fabric line with Wyndham. And the best, which delights me to no end, is when you get your yardage and there's the label and it says Wyndham Fabric Swatch Book, and it'll name the print of the fabric, and then right on there in red says the Iowa Quilt Museum. So exciting. Anyway, we get a little portion of each yardage that's sold, and so if you're and there's already talks of doing more colors, and so if this excites you as much as it excites us, go to your local quilt store, fabric store, let them know that you are interested in this, and they will order it from Wyndham. So it's very exciting, and I will go more in deep about that on another video when I don't have two quilts we're going to feature. Okay, in this coat, when you first walk in, right in here, we have 5 quilts that have amazing quilting. And we talked about that one back there, I think last week, and this one over here with the circles. We've talked about the sawtooth over here. So we're gonna talk about these two today. So let's turn you around and talk about Square in a Square. So square and a square is this quilt here, and we'll take a closer look. A little deep dive. I decided to stop calling it a deep dive because it is not a deep dive. It's more of a toe dip. So I did a little toe dip on the history of square and a square. The square and square quilt block, also called the economy block, has roots to American quilting tradition dating back to at least 1814, and the early history possibly tied to Irish mosaic or American chain patterns. It gained its name economy block during the Great Depression. This predates that, so we're not going to call this an economy block. But anyway, when quilters used small scraps to create warm blankets out of necessity, tradition later echoed during World War II. Today, it remains popular for showcasing fabric and creating secondary patterns in larger quilts. So early roots we talked about was in 1814, also known as mosaic or American chain in Ireland. The name reflects the need to be thrifty as well practical way. That's talking about the economy. The practice was repeated during fabric shortage in the 40s. Simple block designs like this became popular as quilters focused on utility, warmth, and creating beauty from necessity. Modern variations today, the block is cherished as for its versatility, ability to highlight a central fussy cut fabric. So, in the center of the block, and we'll take closer, you could fussy cut a design right in there, and that would look lovely. It can be a simple block or used as a building block for more complex designs, which this is a complex design, and we'll talk about that in a minute. I went to Snuggle Quilts at snugglequilts.com, and she references Barbara Brackman. We've talked a lot about her, and she's the one, earliest known date of the pattern American quilting is 1814. So that's just a very small deep dive, toe dip into the square and the square. So let's read what Julie Silber has to say. Square and a square, dimensions 90 by 90 inches, circa 1880. Found in Michigan, again, unknown maker, lended to us by Julie Silber. She says, this design is commonly known as square and a square, but it is tempting to call this square and a square and a square and a square, etc. Each one of these units has 17 pieces. That's so crazy. Okay, 17 pieces, so tiny. And the quilt makers set them together to form a visual chain. He or she also gave it her all in the hand quilting. Check out the quadruple line quilting that crossed itself and forms a complex diamond grid. People, stop. The quilting on these quilts in here are just mind-boggling. Okay, so 17 pieces. Here's a solid piece. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 pieces. Typically a block and a block. This would be a block inside a block, but she did a block inside this block inside that block, this block inside that block. So it gives this really dimensional look. And then broke it down. We have solid piece here. So this is a block here, square in a diamond shape. And then you have basically a 9 patch, right? With your block and a blocks alternating. So this was one quilt block. This was one quilt block. And she talked about the stitching in here. What'd she call it? Sorry, I'm backing up to get my paper. What'd she say? It's a quadruple line quilting. So, and it crosses itself, right? So here she's doing it here, and then she's doing it here as well. That's crazy. Look at the precision. Look at these wonderful diamonds she makes here by doing that. That's so fantastic. So let's come back here and let's look at her border here. I don't want to guess. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I know when you put diamonds like this, that's flying geese, right? But she put this strip here in the middle to kind of break it up. It's interesting. And she's got her quilting in the border here as well. Let's just flip it over for funsies. Gives it almost like a rope look to it. Whoa, what is that? Oh, that's one of her diamonds. Anyway, here we go. Block and a block. Amazing quilting. I can't cut a straight line. I can't draw a straight line with a ruler, let alone look at these sewing a straight line. Maybe I should try it. I've never tried to sew a straight line. Actually, I take it back. I did. And Luella said, I can't let this quilt leave this house like this. So she tore it out and did it again. Beautiful. All right. Quilt number 2. Thank you, Block and a Block. She's lovely. We're going to back up. And we're going to turn to our left. What is this? This is a blazing star. And we're going to talk about the evolution of the blazing star. So this quilt block, we'll read what Julie says, and then we'll talk about my toe dip that I did. So blazing stars, dimensions 90 by 92, circa 1870, found in Michigan, unknown quilt maker. Get your quilts labeled, get your quilt stories with them. Julie Silver is the lender. She says, the double goalpost border here strongly frames these grand blazing stars shining upon a field of spectacular hand quilting, which the maker executed in 9 to 10 stitches per inch. What? Counting one side only. Note the quilted crossed feathers. Okay, so this is she calls it a blazing version of a complex 8-pointed star, often made of diamonds. This shares many historical connections and names with the Lone Star and Star of Bethlehem patterns. It can be made either as a large centerpiece or repeated in the block style quilt. Blazing star pattern first appeared in the 19th century. The availability of common cotton fabric during this time allowed for more integrated designs. Okay. Other names and variations. So it is so fascinating to me that you could take this quilt block and just alternating different colored fabric, you get a complete different design, and I'm going to show you in a minute. But other variations is Star of Bethlehem, Lone Star, which is pretty popular, Morning Star, and Eliza's Star. I don't know what that is. And the Lemoyne Star is the blazing star. So I went on, this is, let's see if you can see, okay, Smithsonian website, and they had these beautiful blazing star quilts. And when you compare this, see how this has the white center, you got the blue star, the white center, and the outside. Just by alternating the fabrics to different colors, you get a complete different design. So fascinating. Okay, that's math, y'all. We love it. All right, let's look at her beautiful quilting. Let's come in here and closer. So here's her, right? Here's a quilt block here. Then she's also got, so the quilt block here, this is the star. The star comes all the way out here. So she would have done these all the way out here. And then when she pieced it, she did these little smaller blocks, and then she did these larger blocks to piece it all together. But it messes with my brain that this piece here, these two are actually not. This is part of this block, and this is part of that block, that star. But let's just take a look at her quilting here. Leaf or feathered pattern print here, and then the solids inside. It's just crazy. What'd she say, how many? 10 stitches per inch? 9 to 10 stitches per inch. Sorry, I'm not talking. I'm doing a lot of looking. Let's flip her over. Well, let's look at this double goalpost. So here's her double. Oh, and look at the quilting she does in here. Boy, she is really showcasing her artistry here, isn't she? Gorgeous. Gorgeous. It's just for funs. Look on the back. I love her corners that she does here too. It almost gives this, yeah, it's really beautiful. And then she does these half stars down here as well. And I love the way she finishes off her corners as well. Kind of the weaving this of the stripes. And it's not, oh, interesting. She kind of weaves them each differently too, on each corner. Except for the bottom two are the same. She is a showstopper, very pretty. If you remember, we had this one and it's beautiful. Quilting, so pretty. The sawtooth and all that really tiny integral quilting. Just as a refresher that we have done these past, oh, I love this one. So beautiful. And now we have these two. Very dainty, very tiny little stitches. The quilting is just expertly done. So wonderful. Okay, everybody. Thank you for joining. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I have nothing. I don't think anything's going on. What do we got? I have a couple barn quilt classes, still space with it, on October 25th and 26th. I have about 4 spaces on Saturday the 25th, and I think I have about 7 spaces on Sunday, October 26th, if you're interested. Oh, share your stash sale. If you have a carload that you did not get here, please don't bring it. We have so much stuff. Please give us a little time till after our Share Your Stash sale. Maybe in December, we'll start taking donations again. But we are so overwhelmed. If you have like a box or you had this bag of fabric you meant to bring, okay. But, you know, and we're looking for volunteers to go through it, to kind of sort it and get it ready for the sale. November 8th is your Share Your Stash sale. Please, 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 please come to Winterset, Iowa. Share Your Stash sale. We have sewing machines and AccuQuilts and beautiful fabric, really nice fabric, Cafe and Tula Pink and some Moda and some Wyndham. There's just some wonderful fabrics down there, and threads. And you don't quilt, you don't sew, but you crochet or you do needlepoint. I got that for you too. So November 8th, everybody, please, please, please come see us here in Winterset, Iowa. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next Thursday with another, maybe that one. Beautiful quilt. We haven't done that one. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a good weekend.